Now, question 4. Here's.
I can't wait till we get to, I believe, question 5, dude. I have a great answer for that I don't think anyone's going to touch.
Okay.
The Mountie.
All right.
The Mountie. Oh, I am the Mountie.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Question 4, and this is going to be another tough question. Okay. What is the ultimate dream match? Past versus present. Go ahead.
Oh boy.
Go ahead, Weston.
I'm gonna need like a minute or two to think about this one.
Okay, I can do mine if you want while you're thinking yours.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, it's okay. I know I'm going first a lot, so if you want to go first, you're more than welcome to do.
No, go ahead. I highly recommend you go first because I still need to think.
All right. Past star versus present star. Go ahead.
I was thinking about this. This is the one that I thought about the most. And now, if I was going me personally, I would say AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels in his prime. However, I'm looking at the dream match, like the dream match, the match that anyone that has ever heard of wrestling would be interested in seeing. And I feel like because of popularity and similarities of the superstars, I'm gonna lay a scenario out for you guys. I'm just doing a real quick cookie.
By the way, quick question. I got a question about the question, if that's okay, real quick, Lee, before you go. So are we talking like new stars today, or like stars that are just still active today versus stars that like does Undertaker count versus whoever, or like do we have to pick like a Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns to face like a star?
It can be anybody, even like a current retired wrestler, like even like a Daniel Bryan or something like that. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Versus Hulk Hogan if you want to, right? Technically, I'm not thinking that. I'm just saying you could, right?
Oh,
it could be two guys that are retired.
A guy that's from the past against a guy in his current shape.
Oh, in his current shape? Okay, yeah. I can still do that. All right. So, picture this. All right. CM Punk. He is returning. He's returning to the WWE, right?
Okay.
Sure. He was talked into coming back by one of his wrestling idols growing up, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin has become the general manager of Monday Night Raw, and so he talks him into it. Punk comes back. He does his big run as a babyface. He cuts another pipe bomb wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt just like the first one. Then over time, he starts looking at Stone Cold and realizing Stone Cold is not the Stone Cold from the Attitude Era. This is the version of Stone Cold that kissed Big Man's ass. He hugged everyone. He played his guitar. He basically had become the authority that he used to fight against. And as Stone Cold was no longer the man who he was, CM Punk now realizes that it is his duty, his obligation as a fan of wrestling to try to get that Stone Cold back. So he goes to Stone Cold and he delivers a pipe bomb on Stone Cold. And what happens is he finds out Stone Cold has somehow miraculously healed his body to where he can wrestle again. And so he beats him up. He big attacks him. Stone Cold goes full heel on him. The rivalry takes place over the course of several months build up, and then at WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all, you finally have a one-on-one match between Stone Cold versus CM Punk. The renegade from the past versus the renegade from the present. The toughest SOB to ever let slip his boots versus the voice of the voiceless. And it's not a question of who's tougher. It's a question of who's got the moral high ground on this, because Stone Cold believes that he is the same toughest SOB that he always was. But CM Punk is stating that he's lost his touch. He's gone soft. He's not the man that sold the most merchandise in history. He's not the one that single-handedly launched the Attitude Era. He's nothing. He's a shell of his former self, and so it's his duty as a fan, if he can't bring Stone Cold back, then he's going to put Stone Cold down. And that sets up the dream match, CM Punk versus Stone Cold.
All right, Stone Cold 2001 versus CM Punk 2011. Go ahead, Weston.
So the question was the ultimate dream match, right?
Yeah.
The ultimate.
Right.
So, for me, I thought long and hard about this, And when we think ultimate dream matches, like one that everyone would go crazy for, and I think everyone knows where I'm going, you have to do Sting versus Taker. Oh, daddy.
Okay.
I mean, what person hasn't talked about this match happening? I mean, dude, like, where do I begin? And first off, when we get to rebuttal, I got a nice thing to say about that Stone Cold shit. But yeah, again, everyone has talked about this match. It's basically the GOAT of WCW versus the GOAT of WWE. You know, the greatest of all time versus the greatest of all time. And on top of that, you know, the storyline that you could pull with these guys is, I mean, it's you can pull basically any storyline with these guys. If you want to do the underdog storyline, you can do Sting as the underdog versus Undertaker as, you know, the guy that seems bigger than Sting. You know, if you want to do a redemption storyline, again, Sting can be the guy trying to get his redemption on Undertaker. Or hell, if you can finally do, you can even do Taker trying to get his redemption on Sting. Or you can just have it where it's an angle where one wants to prove that they're better than the other. There's so much storylines you can do with this. You know, it's not just closed into, like, you know, like, one guy said, you know, you kicked my dog, so now we're going to fight. Like, literally, you can do anything with Sting versus Taker. And on top of that, like I said, a lot of people have talked about it, so you know it would be a big draw. Like, his feud with CM Punk and Stone Cold, he basically said it has to be at Mania for it to feel big. You put Sting and Taker on any card, Fastlane, Extreme Rules, you name it, people are going to pay money to see it because they just want to see it that bad. And on top of that, Taker versus Sting, they only have to go in there and put on a good...
Weston, just to be clear, who's in his prime? Is it Undertaker in his prime, or is it Sting in his prime?
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So which one of them is in his prime?
We're gonna do... this is a trick question. Phenomenal icons! Yeah. Go back to an earlier episode. Dude, like I said, though, it doesn't even matter what shape they're in, because, like, literally, people still want to see the match regardless.
One of them has to be in his prime.
So, like,
the other has to be in his current shape.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do... We're gonna go ahead and do Sting in his prime versus Taker now.
Okay.
Hold on. He didn't say anything about a tag team, Adam, okay? He just said, like, what would be the ultimate dream match, okay? We're dream feud. So, again, like I said, you can do all kinds of things with this. And the Sting is a much better shit than Taker. Oh my god.
Go ahead, Weston.
Shut the fuck up. I'm trying, hold on, shut the fuck up. I'm not even done.
Hey, if I can interject real quick. Hey, we do have children that are people in our group that are young. If we could try to cut down on the cussing a little bit, I'd appreciate that. In case they watch the video in front of their parents, and then they're like, yeah, so...
Yeah, sorry, kids, I wasn't cursing. I wasn't cursing. I can speak German. You know, that was German. But don't say that to the German, please.
Yeah, don't.
So just don't say that to any German people that know English, though. Just promise me that. Anyway, so yeah, since we're going with Sting in his prime and Taker now, since we're having Sting in his prime versus Taker now, well, I would probably the storyline I would like to go with, and that, there's still a lot of storylines you can go with this, but I would have it where Taker, I'm gonna go with Taker actually beats Brock at WrestleMania 30, and then I would have it where I would say probably the Raw after Fastlane, however Taker cuts the promo about how nobody can beat him for the streak, and then Sting comes out, he just looks at Taker and then points at WrestleMania, and then Taker looks at his hand, and he also looks at the WrestleMania sign, then he looks at Sting and he does like the cut of the throat with the rolling of the eyes, and then they just stare down to end that episode of Raw, which people would be like, oh shit. Also, it's a way to make. Should it mean it? Again, I think it would actually main event over Stone Cold versus Punk. And on top of that, they're so like, I'll say that for the rebuttal. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay.
I think we got a lot.
The issues that I have, is one, your match would not be very good because Taker cannot go anymore. As much as I love Taker, one of my favorite of all time, unless he shocks me this Sunday.
Dude, what are you talking about? He can't go. You're talking about booking a guy that broke his neck.
My turn.
Right. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay? Yeah, but the guy that I've booked that has an injury is prime. Okay, CM Punk is the one in the current physical condition that he's in, and my guy is actually like in his absolute prime. Stone Cold is in his prime, so we have no broken neck. That being said, you're laboring under the delusion that you can make it a streak match, which you can't because that's no longer an option. Like we're talking about like if we were to make the match right. I assume anyway. I might be wrong. But I assume that it would have to be like WrestleMania 34 we're looking for, or something along those lines. If that's not the case, then I would do an Attitude Era angle that would be way different. But that being said, okay, so you made a point that I said that I implied that it would have to be at Mania. It doesn't have to be at Mania. You put Stone Cold versus CM Punk down on any match card anywhere, it's going to sell. Literally, with CM Punk's UFC tenure, as it was, everyone knows his name. And Stone Cold is the biggest star in the history of the business. Everyone knows his name. If Stone Cold came back to wrestle James Ellsworth, it would be a main event WrestleMania level match. Just because it's Stone Cold. He's only one of the biggest stars of our generation, and it's going to outsell anyone. And then you throw in the fact that they're both in their physical prime, because CM Punk right now is in the best shape of his life thanks to his UFC training. And I guarantee you he hasn't lost a step in the ring if he were to go out and compete. They're both able to strike. They're both able to talk on the microphone. They're both able to sell and work a match. They both understand ring psychology better than just about anybody in their respective eras. I mean, it would be a knockdown, drag-out brawl. It might end up being a hardcore match or a singles match. I mean, you could just do a standard match and just go like old school where the referee just doesn't give a crap and they can hit he doesn't even count to 10. He doesn't care. They hit him with weapons. It's just like it's a regular match, but it's loading you. You can do whatever you want because those two can have a thumb wrestling match and people would want to pay a fee just because it's literally the same person from two different generations. What you're doing with Sting and Undertaker it's the WCW's version of the Undertaker versus the Undertaker. And whether you put the streak in there or not, I agree that would sell. It's a match that I myself want to see. However, Sting, even in his prime, was never the best worker. He's okay, he's good, but he's not going to put on a Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker match. He's not going to put on a match like Kurt Angle versus Taker would have been, although that was never WrestleMania, but still. He's not going to give you a 5-star match, probably, unless he's carried to it by someone that's more athletic and stuff. Steve's great with psychology. Everything he does matters, and I love that. So Taker, it would be a very good match. It would not be. And to your credit, my match would probably not be a 5-star match either, but they would have a story that is more genuine, more deep than just saying, "Well, you're me from a different company. Let's fight." And I know you said you could throw any kind of stipulation or match in there, and both these matches are must see. I'd watch either one. I'd pay money to watch either one if it ever happened. But that being said, of the two, mine has the potential to go longer because Taker, as he is right now, can only wrestle one match a year. At that, he walks with a walker sometimes. He can barely move in real life. So if you would have said that Sting was your one that was in current condition, well, even then, he's probably I don't know how he's recovering from surgery, if he's had it or not. So I haven't heard anything about him. So who knows? It's just, unfortunately, with stipulations for this question as they are, I don't think you have much room to stand, honestly, because your match would just be lackluster. I love Stone. I love Undertaker. I really do. Again, one of my all-time favorites. But this is not the Taker that was the leader of the Ministry, or even the American Badass Taker. This is the Taker that grimaces in pain from chokeslamming Braun Strowman. This is the Taker that stays down too long after getting speared by Roman, who struggles to sit up. This is the Taker that, on the last promo of Raw, could physically not do what they wanted him to do, so they had him stand in one place. I mean, this is not an Undertaker that's going to be a worthy opponent for a Sting in his prime. So, I mean, honestly, again, I'm not going to knock any more on it because I think it would be a must-see match, like I said. But there's a difference between being a must-see match and being the must-see match. That's what CM Punk versus Stone Cold is.
Alright, go ahead.
My turn to rebuttal. And first off, obviously mine is more must-see than yours because fans right now are clamoring for Sting versus Taker. And you did say, may I be specific, you did say you would go with CM Punk right now, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, first off, he's not with the WWE. The two competitors that I have, Sting and Taker, they're technically WWE guys for life right now. So if WWE called them up tomorrow, they're both healthy, they could have a match. Hold on. CM Punk, you don't even know if he wants to come back to the WWE. So your dream match probably couldn't even happen, considering we're going with CM Punk right now. Well, and then on top of that, I believe Stone Cold is already in bed.
Yeah, I'll allow that. Just it's fantasy. It's the ultimate dream match, so I'll allow that.
I know. It's fantasy,
but right now is physical body, not the actual mentality. It's the physical body they have right now versus.
Well, no, but it's like, you know, you're pretty much using you even use like some realistic points against me with Taker, you know, he probably can't do it off because he's like, you know, in bad shape or whatever. So if we're going with like a technicality here and we're going with what's happening now, then CM Punk's not even signed with the WWE. So first off, your dream match probably is already down in the toilet just because of that. You know, especially, you know, CM Punk WWE obviously burnt bridges. I believe Stone Cold was already in bad shape too with the WWE back then. I'm not sure, but I think so. Also, we're looking at Sting in his prime from WCW, and I do think there's a more genuine storyline, especially if Sting just like shows up on an episode of Raw and gets in Taker's face. I think there is more of a genuine storyline for that, and a more genuine excitement from the fans. You know, granted, I'm not saying people aren't going to be excited about CM Punk versus Stone Cold, but they would be more excited. They would be like literally 10 times more excited to see Sting versus Taker than they would Stone Cold versus CM Punk, if it can even happen, considering we're going with CM Punk for today. Also, you basically had a few double standards where you said, oh, well, mine is like Stone Cold versus, you know, Stone Cold in the past versus Stone Cold now, but yours is, you know, Taker now versus Taker in WCW. It's like you basically just made a double standard for your own argument. And also, you basically admitted that if it had the streak behind it, it would be must-see. Yeah, and also, I believe that my match would end up being better than yours, because the thing with Sting and Taker, it doesn't have to be a good in-ring work masterpiece. Again, all these fans want these guys. Fans want this so much to the point where all they want Sting and Taker to do is have a stare down. And that's literally it. These guys can literally just get in the ring and stare at each other for 20 minutes, and people would still mark the fuck out for it.
Weston, give me the story, a quick story of like how would you book Sting versus Undertaker? Like, let's say WrestleMania 35. All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and sorry for speaking German again.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. My grandfather's German, so you know. It just comes out sometimes.
Also, guys, my head just started to get low on batteries, so if we could get through this relatively soon, I don't know when it's going to die.
Alright. The story I would go with is, it would probably be, man, I know the story, I'm trying to look for the word for it. It would basically be the story where Sting is wanting to prove that he's better than Undertaker and better than the WWE, and proving that WCW basically is better than WWE. And it would also be quite a little bit of an underdog story for Sting in a way, because it would be, oh my God, can Sting overcome the WWE's, you know, GOAT, you know, WWE's greatest of all time, and Undertaker. So I pretty much would go with like an underdog story with Sting versus Taker. You know, can Sting, prove that he is worthy of facing Undertaker at WrestleMania? You know, can he stay toe to toe with the Dead Man? And like I said, even if I didn't go with that, there's so much stories you can go with because Sting and Taker's endless with what you can do with that. Definitely more endless.
I could have gone with different stories too, but I think one specific story to build as to why mine would be.
Yeah, I would pretty much go with no, never mind. I got the perfect storyline. Yeah. Sting getting revenge for WCW. Basically, his way of getting revenge for WCW is destroying the WWE's Dead Man.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Well, let's say let's say Stone Cold CM Punk. It's announced for next year's WrestleMania. How would you book it?
Okay. Well, you just said so. I would bring CM Punk back through storyline by saying that because if you remember, okay, whenever he cut the original pipe bomb on Raw, CM Punk, he was wearing a Stone Cold shirt. You could use that. Say that Stone Cold was his idol, which he's gone on record saying he was a Stone Cold fan as a kid. So say that Stone Cold was his idol. Stone Cold gets the new general manager of Raw job at the next meeting. It's not Kurt Angle like everyone thinks. It's actually Stone Cold. Stone Cold then convinces CM Punk to come back. CM Punk then rivals against Triple H and does all this stuff for all the way through SummerSlam, whatever. He ends up winning the Universal title. However, while this is happening, he's noticing that his idol is not the idol that he thought. He's not the man that he grew up, idolizing and trying to be like. Stone Cold is, the corporate aspect of the guy who plays the guitar, sings Kumbaya. He shirks away from confrontation. He starts. Every time Vince is in there, he gives him hugs. He's the kind of just the kind of hue you love to hate. Stone Cold version, and so what happens here is CM Punk ends up going in a match against let's say Roman Reigns for the Universal title at Fastlane right before WrestleMania, and now this whole thing has been building for a while, where Punk has cut a couple of promos on Stone Cold, trying to get him to remember who he was. And the last one on the Raw right before Fastlane, it seemed like it really lit a fire in Stone Cold's belly. He says, "You know what, Punk? You're right. I'm not the man that I used to be, and I'm damn well I'm gonna get that man back." And Stone Cold then comes out and costs Punk the title, which of course helps heel Roman Reigns get even more heat. Then the next night on Raw, cost him it again, and move on with that. Reigns isn't the important part of the match. The important part is that now CM Punk is got the little boy CM Punk that loves Stone Cold as a kid is disappointed in Stone Cold, and the grown ass man CM Punk is angry at Stone Cold because he has robbed him of his title. He has damaged his legacy, and he says that if I can't get the old Stone Cold back, then I'm going to put this Stone Cold down. And that's basically the last line. That's the go-home line they use for the rivalry heading into Mania. At Mania, you want me to book the match? No, I can book the match for you, or I can just leave it there because it's more about which is the most must-see match available. Now, a couple of battles I've almost forgotten because I had to book the match again. What I was going to say, you had mentioned a couple of times that it's GOAT versus GOAT. That's not really true because Undertaker and Sting, neither one. I mean, both could be debated as to whether they were or weren't the GOAT of their respective genres.
Sting was undoubtedly the GOAT of WCW. That's not even a question.
I mean, there's Hulk Hogan. There's I'm talking about for Sting, I'm talking about the GOAT of WCW, and there's no doubt he is. And as for Undertaker, he's the GOAT on the pure fact that he's wrestled in 3 different eras. Maybe 4? I don't want to waste time to argue that. I'm just saying that's kind of a debatable fact. And then the big thing is, whenever you want to book a rivalry like this, what you're doing is you're playing off emotion. Okay, you're using nostalgia, and you're trying. So are you? No. Look, I am. I'm not saying that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing that if you do it right. my issue is, with your booking, you have Sting trying to defend WCW. And the problem is, no one cares about WCW anymore. No fan really. I mean, maybe the hardcore fans.
Really? Even though there's plenty of videos out there, especially with guys like Bruce Blitz,
right,
who would be invested in the storyline, because they still believe WCW was better. And on top of that, I still know people who don't watch wrestling anymore who believe that WCW was better than WWE. You can't tell me they would have on the TV to see Sting try to get revenge for WCW.
This is my rebuttal, sir. Sorry. As I was saying, hardcore fans might say that WCW was better, but the casual fan, which is what you're always trying to argue with your team, the casual fan would not care about WCW anymore because the only tapes we have are so outdated, so old, so aged, and the WCW tapes have not held up over time. Especially the last year 2000 WCW. There's a reason why it went out of business. It was bad. It was not good at all. The booking was a mess. WCW was not, and plus the other thing, Sting had no love for WCW when he left it. He loved what it was at one point, but there's a reason why he had no problem going to TNA. He wanted to go to WWE until the Rock got that promo on Booker T asking who the hell he is, and that was more because he was afraid of his own legacy being destroyed when he went to WWE. So he really would have no person, and the smart marketing, the hardcore fans, the demographic you're trying to get emotion out of, would know that about Sting. They would know he didn't have any love for the way WCW ended up. So it would feel fake to them. And the casual fans wouldn't care about WCW, so it would feel like it wasn't important to them.
They don't care, but yet every week you hear Goldberg for Goldberg versus Rock.
Well, that's because of the buzzword. If you know how buzzwords work, you start off someone saying that that's a chance.
Still, they care. It goes to show you put a wrestler for their WCW, they'll care.
They are sheep. You tell them to say something, and then they do it.
Okay, but they still care. Again, that's sort of irrelevant to the argument. They care.
It could also be canned heat.
Again, they still care. It doesn't matter. They're still invested.
No, it's because they chant yes doesn't mean they care about Bryan all the time whenever they do it. It's because they chant what doesn't mean they're thinking of Stone Cold all the time they do it. They do it because it's a thing to do.
That would be a great argument. It's that we're talking about WCW, not Daniel Bryan. And whatever else you mentioned there.
About whether or not the fans care. You know what? It's at this point. I've made my cases. You've made your cases. Unless you have another rebuttal you want to make, I'm done with this particular one, just for time reasons.
All right. Definitely two great matches. This is pretty much now a singles match, by the way. It's not. It's not even a tag team match.
No, I get eliminated.
Adam, just sit next to me and enjoy the show, dude.
I said what's going to happen. At the beginning of the show, I got screwed. Thanks again, Ed.
Just sit next to me and enjoy the show.
I mean, to be fair, my partner has argued for tacos twice. So, I mean, if anyone here got screwed, I think it's the new guy. But anyway, let's go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And by the way, kids, if you're wondering who Adam is, the guy that just talked, he's like the Santino Marella to our group. He's just there for jokes.
Dude, Santino Marella is awesome, and he should have had the world title, and don't you deny it.
Well, I don't agree with the world title, but I do think he's awesome. There's definitely a place for that type of character. But again,
I don't really think he should have it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Let me ask Adam and LB. Adam, who would you what ticket would you buy to see? Would you rather see Sting and Undertaker, or would you buy a ticket to see Stone Cold and CM Punk?
Alright, that's tough. I like all four of them. I'm trying to look at it subjectively though, not as a fan. Which one would I buy a ticket to, or which one do I think would draw more money?
Who would you buy a ticket to? Yeah, who would you buy a ticket to? I think it's a better question.
I would buy a ticket to Stone Cold and CM Punk because it would be a much better match. CM Punk could still go in the ring. Sting Taker is just not.
Remember, Adam, that's assuming,
bitch.
That's assuming that CM Punk comes back. Because, like, again, using current CM Punk, which is
No, I know, I heard you, but you're interrupting me, just like you interrupted me 500 times.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
You're not being respectful to a guest and new owner.
It's fine, we're good.
Yeah, go ahead, Adam. Yeah. Would you buy a ticket to see Stone Cold and CM Punk, or Sting and Undertaker?
Yes, I would buy a ticket to Stone Cold and CM Punk because it would be a much better worked match than Sting and Undertaker, which would just basically be Sting hitting his signature moves, Undertaker doing his signatures, and then Undertaker staggering around the ring for 20 minutes pretending like he's not crippled.
Alright, okay, what about you, LB?
That's a spectator, but it's just fact.
What's that?
What about you, LB? What ticket would you buy to see? Would you rather see Stone Cold CM Punk or Sting versus The Undertaker?
Even though Sting vs. Undertaker would be the bigger draw, I think that Stone Cold vs. CM Punk would be the more memorable match, though. So I pick Stone Cold and CM Punk.
Alright.
I hope you know you're asking two hardcore fans that probably jerk off to CM Punk before they go to bed.
You're dead.
Hey, to be fair, I consider myself hardcore casual, and I would still.
Well, I do too, but like it's kind of unrealistic to just ask two hardcore fans. You know, because
I haven't said I'm trying to look at it objectively. I haven't said I'm trying to look at it objectively. Stone Cold and CM Punk would be...
Your mind's clogged up with being hardcore.
No.
But yeah.
Alright, Adam, what would be a bigger draw? Would it be Sting versus Undertaker or Stone Cold versus CM Punk?
Undertaker and Sting.
Okay. Alright.
But you also take into account the booking, too. That was part of the question.
Yeah.
I want to say CM Punk coming back to WWE would be huge. So you know what? I want to change my answer. Stone Cold and CM Punk, because CM Punk coming back to WWE would be a story of its own.
Thank you. That was
that's assuming he does come back though, which.
Well, that's like saying
that's all part of it. That's
like saying that Undertaker is going to for sure come back to another match. We don't know that either. So I mean,
we probably do for the most part because every year we think he's going to retire and he comes back.
Well, guys, that's the whole point of a dream match. You know, like he could have said Kenny Omega and AJ Styles. Like, still, just because he's not affiliated doesn't mean as long as he's in his current shape. That's the whole question.
I could have used non-WWE guys on thought, or also would have used something where it's AJ Styles, but that would be a worldwide draw.
Again, both of these guys, even hardcore fans that love CM Punk, so that they even know Sting versus Undertaker would be the bigger draw.
Well,
just keep that.
You factor in the fact that it's happening right now, and CM Punk coming back would be the biggest news in the last 10 years. Then you throw in the fact that Stone Cold's also back. That's why,
dude. Sting versus Taker on a card, and even WCW fans are gonna come back to the product, dude.
All right, give me one more rebuttal. I just want to hear a little bit more from both sides, okay? Because this is really.
I basically just did.
Yeah, because this is really hard.
Just did. Okay, timing is everything. You look at timing right now. Taker, everyone expects Taker to retire. Every year, you do it yourself. No one expects Taker to have another truly memorable match. At this point, he's only competing for the sake of his own satisfaction, basically. Sting, people would like to see Sting versus Taker in their prime, but people aren't going to see that. People are going to see Sting in his prime versus current Taker, and it would be almost shameful to the fact. Oh, another rebuttal that I forgot. I'm glad I had the second time just for my own personal benefit. You mentioned that I was saying the same thing. I was making a contradictory statement about how CM Punk and Stone Cold are the same person, two different eras versus.
Well, I didn't even say a contradiction, really, but I said like a double standard.
Right, okay, double standard. Okay. Well, the difference being, right, CM Punk and Stone Cold. CM Punk filed himself after Stone Cold. That was his whole thing. He made a conscious effort to be like Stone Cold because that was a hero. Okay, you can use that as a storyline book. Your two guys were rivals their entire time, and it was one guy was made to strictly combat the other guy. So it's just like the guys that made Taker are no longer around to fight the people that made Taker. It would be happening in Taker's house, so it wouldn't be shocking to think Taker's going to win. Now that being said, again, you look at the timing of everything. You have the two biggest stars of their respective generations, and you have someone that the fans still chant, like, just doing, granted, it's just doing what people that you want to talk about Goldberg chants. People still chant CM Punk every show. Every show. He's been in the company for 4 years, and 5 years actually, and every show they chant CM Punk almost. So if that dude is going to sell out tickets by himself, then you throw in Stone Cold, who's going to sell out tickets by himself because it's freaking Stone Cold Steve Austin. You throw in the legacies, one man's, the hero, the former, it's like the hero versus the never meet your hero kind of stigma. You have CM Punk, who is a very sympathetic babyface because when he left the company, part of when he got so big is because of that Colt Cabana podcast where he talked about all the stuff that went wrong in his WWE career and how he was treated. So people are automatically going to give him that sympathy, babyface sympathy. Then you have him go and he rivals against Triple H to get built up to where people are like, okay, he's still a main event guy. Then he goes and loses to Roman Reigns, who, because of Stone Cold. That sets up that rivalry to be the biggest match of all time. It would be bigger, I would argue, than any match ever happened in the history of wrestling. If booked that way and if done properly. My headset's about to die, guys, so if I stop talking, that would be why.
Right, go ahead, Weston.
I believe at that time in 2001 wasn't Stone Cold having some trouble with Vince McMahon. So you're going with that Stone Cold. So wouldn't Vince McMahon say, "Yeah, I got this dream match for you to do," but Stone Cold might just say, "Fuck you."
I was going with that personality, not that Stone Cold. This is Stone Cold in his prime.
But still, if we are going with that version of the character, you got to take that into consideration. So not only do you have CM Punk, who's not a guarantee to even come back to WWE, you also have Stone Cold, who's basically literally going to give the middle finger to Vince McMahon. And on top of it, there really is no genuine story out of this. Sure, you can make that out of a story like you just booked. Sure, it might be good. But at the same time, there's literally a genuine story behind Sting and Taker to the point where you don't even have to think about the booking. The story's already there. And now you put that at WrestleMania on a card. It's guaranteed. DLB and Adam even admitted it would basically outsell Stone Cold versus CM Punk.
No, I changed my answer actually. And went with Lee.
Well, we all know why you did that, but anyway, yeah, but literally.
I'm not the owner of the podcast.
If you put those two on a separate card in two different arenas, ain't no shadow of a fucking doubt Sting versus Taker's going to outsell more because people are going to go there just out of curiosity. They're going to go there because it's a match they wanted to see, and they're going to think for a second. I forgot. Never mind. I forgot. Sting's in his prime. Because that's what I picked. Sting in his prime. Taker.
Yeah, I forgot. Taker was too. Yeah.
So people are going to see Sting in his prime versus Taker now, and they're going to go there because just those two names alone. And on top of that, you got the WCW. Hold on. Everyone's interrupting me. And you got the WCW crowd who left wrestling because either WCW was bought out or WWE wasn't treating their favorite. They're going to see that on the card, and they're going to want to go see it. In other words, you're getting WCW fans back on you're getting eyeballs back on the product. Stone Cold versus CM Punk is not going to do that. It's just not. And on top of that, do people even take CM Punk seriously anymore considering he got his ass beat in real life by a freaking rookie in the UFC? That's not going to be realistic to see people like me. That's not going to... Dude, Brock Lesnar was fucking he was a world heavyweight champion in UFC, dude.
He won 3 fights to get the title, and then he lost 3 in a row after that. And then with WWE,
that's still not. But Brock Lesnar's a legit proven fighter, dude. CM Punk's not. First fight in freaking MMA, and he fucking loses.
Some people still get CM Punk. So,
okay, that's
Brock
fine.
Lesnar lost his first fight against Frank Mir. Brock Lesnar lost his first fight in 2 minutes, and around the same amount of time that CM Punk lost his. Both to submit.
Yeah, but he won the world heavyweight champion. CM Punk still has yet to prove that he's a legit badass.
I mean, he still gets trained. And there's no way of saying he's not going to continue to fight in the UFC. He might fight again in the UFC, and he might do well. We don't know for sure. We're only booking current amount of height versus current amount of height. And right now, if CM Punk came back to WWE, he'd be the biggest wrestler in the world again. Because of the hype he has right now, and because of the way he wrestles.
No, not really. John Cena would still be known as the biggest wrestler in the world. I mean, CM Punk's probably comes the closest, but yeah.
Omega is probably the biggest worldwide superstar right now.
Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah, that's a different argument.
Dude. Dude, the only people that know him are probably like New Japan fans and just people from like hardcore fans of WWE that heard of him. You have any casual fans, or hell, even in between fans that just come in every now and again when it's just interesting. They're not gonna know the fuck.
You know what?
Different debate for a different time.
I'm sorry. I'm speaking German again. I get really passionate. What can I say? When I get passionate, I speak German. But yeah.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Okay. You're a donut. Okay. Let's see. Definitely 2 great arguments. There's nothing much I can poke holes into them. It's just, yeah, I think both have been really, really strong arguments. Damn. It's really, really tough. Really tough coming up with the better answer.
Hey, can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. My headset died, but I've got you through the truck radio, so I can still talk. But I hope there's a lot of background noise.
No, it's fine. This is where he hates to be the judge, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, for the record, you did a pretty good job arguing.
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like my match was better, but I think you did a pretty good job arguing. So, either way, whatever.
CM Punk and Sting versus The Undertaker.
Prime Sting, not to mention.
Yeah, Prime Sting, and,
I think that even if they were equal, I'm not judging them. Even if they were equal, the booking is what would decide it. So, I mean, if that was me, I would judge based on what I thought was better booking. But
yeah, I'm taking everything into consideration, definitely. Damn. This is really tough. I like your like with both of you guys' answers with the fact that Weston said that Sting, coming out there and people still cheering for guys like Goldberg, even though that it's a nostalgia thing, people still do care about WCW. And that going up against The Undertaker, even today, it would still be a big match. And Lee did mention that CM Punk coming out now, while fans are still chanting for CM Punk. And Stone Cold in 2001, he was still in his prime, so he could definitely have a great match with Punk, but the Ultimate Dream match.
hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we still hear you.
I wanted to say I didn't lose the connection.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure figure out who get this. This is really hard.
I was just, yeah. It's cool. If you want, you can let, oh, you already did.
I could give you both the point, but I'm trying to figure out, like, there must be a clear cut with this one.
Remember, CM Punk is not with the company anymore, and those bridges have been burnt, and he did go with today's CM Punk.
That doesn't matter. I can't take that into an account because it's a dream match, you know, at the end of the day. So if he could come back, you know. So okay, I gotta go with Lee with Stone Cold versus CM Punk because he did, like, the fact that you mentioned that Stone Cold is you know, is still considered as the biggest star in wrestling, and going up against CM Punk, who's still hot, and him transcending into UFC. Like, win, lose, or draw, he's still transcended. So, yeah, I gotta go with Lee. Lee gets that point.